State Route 71 Blackbird, the world's fastest reconnaissance aircraft ever built. The Lockheed State Route 71 Blackbird is a long-range, high-altitude, Mach 3+ strategic reconnaissance aircraft developed and manufactured by the American aerospace company Lockheed Corporation. It was operated by both the United States Air Force, USAF, and NASA. The State Route 71 was developed as a black project from the Lockheed A-12 reconnaissance aircraft during the 1960s by Lockheed's Skunk Works division. American aerospace engineer Clarence Johnson was responsible for many of the aircraft's innovative concepts. The shape of the State Route 71 was based on that of the A-12, which was one of the first aircraft to be designed with a reduced radar cross-section. The State Route 71 designation has been attributed to lobbying efforts by USAF Chief of Staff General Curtis LeMay, who preferred the SR, Strategic Reconnaissance, designation over simply RS, Reconnaissance, Strategic. The aircraft entered service in January 1966. During aerial reconnaissance missions, the State Route 71 operated at high speeds and altitudes, Mach 3.2 and 85,000 feet, 25,900 meters, allowing it to outrace or entirely avoid threats. If a surface-to-air missile launch was detected, the standard evasive action was simply to accelerate and outpace the missile. On average, each State Route 71 could fly once per week due to the extended turnaround required after mission recovery. During 1988, the USAF retired the State Route 71 largely for political reasons. Several were briefly reactivated during the 1990s before their second retirement in 1998. NASA was the final operator of the Blackbird, retiring their aircraft in 1999. Since its retirement, the SR-71's role has been taken up by a combination of reconnaissance satellites and unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. A proposed UAV successor, the State Route 72, is under development by Lockheed Martin and scheduled to fly in 2025. The State Route 71 has several nicknames, including Blackbird and Habu. As of 2022, the State Route 71 still holds the world record it set in 1976 as the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft, previously held by the related Lockheed YF-12. Lockheed's previous reconnaissance aircraft was the relatively slow U-2, designed for the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. In late 1957, the CIA approached the defense contractor Lockheed to build an undetectable spy plane. The project, named Archangel, was led by Kelly Johnson, head of Lockheed's Skunk Works unit in Burbank, California. The work on Project Archangel began in the second quarter of 1958, with aim of flying higher and faster than the U-2. Of 11 successive designs drafted in a span of 10 months, A-10 was the front-runner. Despite this, however, its shape made it vulnerable to radar detection. After a meeting with the CIA in March 1959, the design was modified to have a 90% reduction in radar cross-section. The CIA approved a $96 million contract for Skunk Works to build a dozen spy planes, named A-12, on February 11, 1960. The 1960 downing of Francis Gary Powers' U-2 underscored its vulnerability and the need for faster reconnaissance aircraft such as the A-12. The State Route 71 designation is a continuation of the pre-1962 bomber series. The last aircraft built using the series was the XB-70 Valkyrie. However, a bomber variant of the Blackbird was briefly given the B-71 designator, which was retained when the type was changed to State Route 71. During the later stages of its testing, the B-70 was proposed for a reconnaissance/strike role with an RS-70 designation. When the A-12's performance potential was clearly found to be much greater, the USAF ordered a variant of the A-12 in December 1962, which was originally named R-12 by Lockheed. This USAF version was longer and heavier than the original A-12 because it had a longer fuselage to hold more fuel. Several exotic fuels were investigated for the Blackbird. Development began on a coal slurry power plant, but Johnson determined that the coal particles damaged important engine components. Research was conducted on a liquid hydrogen power plant, but the tanks for storing cryogenic hydrogen were not of a suitable size or shape. On most aircraft, the use of titanium was limited by the costs involved. It was generally used only in components exposed to the highest temperatures, such as exhaust fairings and the leading edges of wings. On the State Route 71, titanium was used for 85% of the structure, with much of the rest polymer composite materials. To control costs, Lockheed used a more easily worked titanium alloy which softened at a lower temperature. The challenges posed led Lockheed to develop new fabrication methods, which have since been used in the manufacture of other aircraft. The State Route 71 was powered by two Pratt & Whitney J58, company designation JT11D20, axial flow turbojet engines. The J58 was a considerable innovation of the era, capable of producing a static thrust of 32,500 lbf, 145 knots. The engine was most efficient around Mach 3.2, the Blackbird's typical cruising speed. At takeoff, the afterburner provided 26% of the thrust. This proportion increased progressively with speed until the afterburner provided all the thrust at about Mach 3.